Hello Pokemon lovers and welcome to another episode of Rating All Pokemon. It's really warm in the Netherlands and I'm feeling flustered, so I hope I can talk right? Because I don't feel like I can, but I can try. So let's just start out. I have some strange creatures to cover today, so I'm just gonna start. The first Pokemon is number 431. Glameow. Glameow is a cat Pokemon that looks pretty fancy for a cat Pokemon. I usually don't like the way cat Pokemon look. I don't know why. I think they don't do cats justice. But this one kind of looks like a cat, I guess. It has a crescent moon-shaped head for some weird reason that I don't understand. Glameow is spiteful and fickle and a little bit mean, and if you don't feed it, it will claw your face off, so that's not great. That's not a thing cats do, is it? But when it's happy, it moves its tail around like a dancing ribbon, and it's cute. And it's kind of a domestic Pokemon. People have it as pets, even though it sometimes just claws your face off for fun. Glameow also has the possibility to stare its foes into this like hypnotic state to make it easier to attack them, which I think is pretty cool. It is based on a cat, and it's not really very interesting. Its name comes from glamour and meow, and I can't really say that much about it. It's one of those Pokemon that I've never used. I feel like, have I even played Gen 4? I know these Pokemon, but I don't know them. I have played Gen 4, by the way. I give Glameow a 3 out of 5. Sorry. Then at level 38, Glameow evolves into Purugly, which is a big, fat cat. And I think it's pretty cool. It's ugly though. Purugly, that's what it means. It has a forked tail, which you can't really see in any of the artwork, but that's because it usually has its like two tail tips clenched around its waist to make it look more thick, actually to make it look more like burly and evil, like that. Do I look burly and evil? Well, but yeah, it is a pretty like sluggish looking Pokemon, but if you anger it, it can be fast and it will hunt you down with its like burly physique. Purugly isn't nice. It claims other Pokemon's nests because, you know, it can. And it's like, this nest looks good to me, I will take it now. And then it has the nest. And it's kind of sad. If you just watch the Dex news, you know I have something in my eye. It's still in my eye. And it's still in my eye. So let's just say Purugly uses its tail as a corset. I think it probably has a pretty low body image if it feels like it should resort to that. And all I want to say is, Purugly, you're beautiful just the way you are. Don't worry about it. Purugly is based on a wild tiger cat, but it looks more like a very fat tabby. And it may also be based on Nekomata, which is a yokai from Japanese folklore. Its French name is Chaffreux, which comes from chat, which means cat, and affreux, which means absolutely horrible. Oh my god, its German name is Schnurrgarst, which comes from schnurren, which I think means to purr, and garstig, which means horrible. Horrible. I'm just gonna give it a pity 4 out of 5. I would like my camera to keep focusing on my face instead of anything else. Thank you. Then the next Pokemon is a very cute one. It is Chingling. Now Chingling is a tiny little bell Pokemon. It is actually a baby Pokemon. It is the pre-evolution of Chimecho, and it is very, very adorable. I think it's just one of the cutest baby Pokemon of all time, because look at its tiny little face. It's just so cute. Chingling has a red orb inside of its mouth, which makes the bell kind of noise. It makes very, very high ringing sounds, which are too high for people to hear. But it can also vibrate and make like a really high frequency cry, which deafens its opponents. And I think that's very useful. Whoa, is that a useful baby Pokemon? What? Pokemon Diamond says it emits cries by agitating an orb in the back of its throat. It moves with flouncing hops. That's just cute. The only reason I said that is because I think it's cute. Chingling is based on a Sutsu bell, which is a type of bell that is used in Shinto temples and shrines, and always great to have some of this Japanese stuff as the inspiration. Its name comes from chime and jingling. Jingling. I give this tiny baby Pokemon a 4 out of 5. Then number 434 is Stunky. Now, Stunky is a skunk Pokemon that emits smelly smells from its butt area. Now, if you look at its design, you can see that its face actually really looks like a butt. Or is that just me? And not only that, it reminds me of a yokai from Yokai Watch called... Okay, I need to Google this real quick. I forgot its name. Called Cheeksqueak. And it just looks exactly the same. Like, in the face area, obviously. Like, it looks exactly the same. Cheeksqueak. That's what it reminded me of. So this smell that Stunky emits is very, very bad, and you can smell it for over a mile away, and it's really hard to get rid of, and it will linger around for 24 hours, which is absolutely horrible. Skunks. I have no opinion on skunks. I think they look pretty cute usually, but don't make me smell, please. I'm personally a big fan of shiny Stunky's coloring. It's like a really cool deep red, pinky red, and that's what I just want to say that because sometimes you gotta mention the shinies. Stunky is based on a skunk, that's really all there is to say. It also has some resemblance to cats, especially cats that are like frightened, have their hairs sticking up out of frightness. I'm just gonna stick with frightness, which kind of makes sense because baby skunks are called kittens. The more you know. The French name for Stunky is moufouette, and that comes from moufette, which is a skunk, and fouetter, which means to stink, but it's like a slang word, which the French really like to use slang words, and I often get my French wrong because I don't know the slang, but now I have a source, which I already had, but I always forgot. This time I had a source, and fouetter means to stink. I give Stunky a 4 out of 5 because it reminds me of Cheeksqueak. At level 34, Stunky evolves into Skuntank. Skuntank. This is a very weird name for me, Skuntank. Is that me? Just weird. Skuntank. Anyway, Skuntank is a poison and dark Pokemon. It is, again, a skunk. This time, the smell doesn't come from the butt, but it comes from the tip of the tail. Now, I think it does look cool. The design is nice. It can spray its smelly goo for over 160 feet. So, I don't know, just stay away, I suppose. But the longer it lets the smell ferment in its body, the more horrendous the smell is. So I just don't really... Skunks. Now, Skuntank lives in prickly bushes in forest areas where it just lingers and waits until someone walks by so it can spray on them. That's not how it happens. The spraying usually only happens when there's danger around. Now, Skuntank is based on the hog-nosed skunk, but the way it looks and the fact that it smells really bad also resembles the honey badger. And I can definitely see that in the design. Now, Skuntank's name is quite obviously based on skunks and tanks. I think it's tank because of the way it looks, not so much the way it battles. I don't recall Skuntank being very tanky. Maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, please shout at me in the comments. I give Skuntank a 4 out of 5. That was it for today. I feel like this video was very messy. I'm sorry. I'm very flustered and annoyed by this thing that has been in my eye for an hour and just won't leave my eyeball. Anyway, I hope you learned something regardless today because, I mean, these Pokemon aren't the greatest though, are they? So it's not that bad that I messed this up a little bit because there is something in my eyeball. Why am I making these movements? I'm not a dancer. If you had to choose between Skuntank and Purugly in your team, which one would you choose? I think I'd go with Skuntank, but I'm not sure why. I'm gonna think about why. I wish you all a very great week, and I will see you again next week with hopefully a more coherent episode. Goodbye. Ooh. Goodbye.